Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be doing tier list review, and we will primarily be going over Fugue and of course Fugue's impact when it comes to other characters. For those of you that have pulled Fugue, I would love to know what your current opinions on her are, if you think she is a good pickup or not really, and why. And for those that actually skipped Fugue, I would love to know who you are skipping her for. Lastly, if you guys enjoy videos like these, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like, support the video, and now let's get straight into it. So here we are with the newest tier list updates. I really wanted to go over these just to see where they ended up placing Fugue, and we are of course on Pridewind's website. So if we take a look in 0.5 right here, we have Fugue, which honestly, I think this is a decent placement for her, especially when it comes to just super break teams in general. She really is a really strong asset for those teams due to all of her kit capabilities, some of which including the super break that she enables for the team just through her talent, as well as of course the exo toughness, which is referred to as Cloud Flame Luster within her kit. And the exo toughness really helps out when it comes to enabling characters on your team to break enemies more frequently, which can heavily benefit some characters in the game. For example, this can benefit Rappa, as now she'll be able to get more stacks for her talent. In the case of Boothill, this can also benefit him as he can gain his pocket trick shot stacks quicker within a fight. In the case of Himeko, this also benefits her, as now she'll be able to unleash more follow-up attacks onto enemies due to them having their toughness meter as well as that exo toughness from Cloud Flame Luster. This can also help out Xueyi. Xueyi can benefit from this because this can allow her to gain more karma stacks, which now results in her dealing more follow-up attacks onto enemies. So there are a lot of synergies that Fugue has with a bunch of characters that can take advantage of the super break playstyle. She still also can work nicely with Firefly, and the exo toughness, once again, it just allows you to break an enemy twice. So even when it comes to future characters, let's say they wanted to take advantage of breaking enemies as much as possible, whether it be for stacks, for follow-ups, whatever it may be, Fugue will be able to have a very nice synergy with them. I've actually also showcased Fugue and Acheron together. Fugue is a Nihility character, so I was very curious of her synergy with Acheron. And what's really cool about Fugue and Acheron in particular is that within Fugue's kit, whenever she uses the Phoxian Prayer buff on an ally, whenever that ally attacks an enemy, there is going to be a 100% base chance of reducing that enemy's defense. And of course, this is based off of Fugue's effect hit rate. So what you can end up doing is actually using Fugue's skill either on Acheron herself, if you do not have Acheron's signature light cone. This will allow Acheron to still get 2 stacks every time she uses her skill, or if she ends up using her basic attack now that she has a defense reduction, this allows you to get 1 stack. In the case of using Fugue's skill on a sustain character like Aventurine, Lingsha, Gallagher, whatever it may be, this actually will now allow them to debuff enemies every time they attack. In the case of Lingsha, she has high attacking frequency. Aventurine can also attack very frequently as well. He can use his basic attacks as follow-ups and so on. Gallagher can also have pretty nice attacking frequency as well, depending on how you build him. There's definitely multiple options that you can use, but in the case of using Fugue's skill on the sustain, now the sustain will be able to gain stacks for Acheron, which allows Acheron to be able to get some nice stacks for her ultimate. I have tested this in Pure Fiction and it was able to get the full 40k points, and then in Memory of Chaos, if I'm not mistaken, I ended up getting a 1 or 2 cycle on the first half with this team, and the team can also be used on the second half as well. Another perk that Fugue has is whenever she does use her skill on an ally, and she gives them the Phoxian Prayer buff, they will be able to reduce an enemy's toughness regardless of what they are weak to. So let's say in the scenario of Himeko, who does not have fire implants or a way to ignore weakness, now she can ignore enemies' weaknesses. And while it is only 50% of the original toughness reduction, that is still very useful, especially in the case of, once again, her being able to get more follow-ups. Let's say you are in a mode like Pure Fiction, Himeko and Fugue can absolutely destroy Pure Fiction just because of how many enemies are going to end up being broken and how many follow-ups Himeko is able to unleash back to back. You can also mess around with main DPS Lingsha. I've actually been showcasing this a lot recently on my streams, and what I end up doing is using Lingsha as the sustain as well as a DPS alongside Ruame, Harmony Trailblazer, and Fugue. I can swap out Harmony Trailblazer though for Sunday if I wanted to, but regardless, this is also very possible as Lingsha has very high attacking frequency, and of course she does not have fire implants within her kits or a way to ignore toughness, so Fugue actually allows her to do so. In the case of Boothill, if you don't have the physical implant on an enemy just yet, not to worry, Fugue's skill will allow Boothill now to reduce the toughness meters of those enemies, even without that physical implant on them just yet. So overall, Fugue has a lot of benefits when it comes to just what she'll be able to provide for super break teams, and then also that very interesting and fun synergy that she does have with Acheron. As for just mini perks that she does have, she also will be able to grant the team more break effect, will also be able to delay enemies when they are weakness broken. So that definitely helps out in the case of just, let's say you go with the no sustain team with Harmony Trailblazer, Fugue, Ruame, and let's say you use Firefly for example. This delay is definitely really nice as it'll combine very well with the delay that Harmony Trailblazer has as well as the delay that Ruame has. So this allows you to deal more instances of super break onto enemies before they can actually recover their toughness meters. I would say she is a very, very powerful supportive option for that team archetype. I've been having a lot of fun messing around with her myself. I would love to know if you guys actually did pull for Fugue. How have you been enjoying her so far? And as I mentioned earlier, I think the 0.5 placement is fine. They could have honestly maybe went tier 0 if you are considering the capabilities that she has when it comes to just super break teams in general. But I think 0.5 is okay for right now. Usually what I notice they do a lot of the time with the supportive characters or just new characters in general nowadays is majority of them will typically go into the tier 1 or tier 0.5 before they jump up to tier 0. And also, I noticed that Fugue and Harmony Trailblazer are in the same category. So I did read in the changelog that they are going to closely watch Fugue and Harmony Trailblazer before making a decision of which one should be on top of the other, or if they should remain in the same category, as both of these characters can be paired together very nicely. Now, I personally would say that I do enjoy Fugue's benefits a bit more, as the exo toughness is, oh my gosh, oops, I just lost the tier list. Hold on, there we go. The exo toughness is just incredible to mess around with when it comes to just allowing Himeko to unleash more follow-ups, allowing Xueyi to also be able to get more karma stacks, being able to take advantage of the exo toughness for Rappa so that she can gain more stacks for her talent. So there's a lot of benefits, I feel like, with the extra toughness and the additional perks of Fugue's kit as well. It does make me personally prefer Fugue over Harmony Trailblazer. And we will also be getting Remembrance Trailblazer next patch as well. So we will have to see, okay, how in relation to Harmony Trailblazer are most people going to just end up switching? Or are most actually just going to stay with Harmony Trailblazer until they find a need for Remembrance Trailblazer? So that'll be interesting as well to see where Remembrance Trailblazer will end up being on the tier list. Overall, I feel like Fugue was a very nice addition for super break teams. And if we take a look at the rest of the characters I did just talk about, I do like that Rappa went up. I do think though there can heavily be an argument for tier 0 at this point, as when it comes to her Lycone options, you can actually use a 4-star Lycone. If I'm not mistaken, it is called After the Harmony Falls. This is a very, very nice 4-star Lycone for Erudition characters when it comes to doing a break build. And when it comes to an E0, S0 Rappa, even then, I do think she can honestly go into tier 0. I have seen some really nice low cycle clears with that 4-star Lycone, and she has been performing very well since she came out for the Memory of Chaos lores that we've been getting with the enemies we've been getting. So I think honestly, maybe next patch, she'll actually maybe go to tier 0. I do think 100% she definitely could go up to tier 0 very, very soon. And I personally do think she's worthy of that tier 0 placement as well, as she does have incredible capabilities when it comes to a break-centric team. Same can be said about Boothill, especially with the release now of Fugue. Boothill can heavily take advantage of Fugue's kit, and Boothill is incredibly powerful in Memory of Chaos just because he can implant enemies with physical weakness. He can of course take advantage of the extra toughness that Fugue will inflict onto enemies, which means you can get your pocket trick shot stacks faster, and this will just allow you to go to town with Boothill and deal as much damage as possible. So I think Boothill as well can also go up to potentially tier 0. It's really hard to say between the 3 break characters which ones should be in tier 0, which ones should maybe be in tier 0.5. I personally think Pride1 might go the route of just maybe having all of them in tier 0. Now granted, that is a lot of characters in tier 0. I would say though all 3 of these characters are very strong characters. They all have benefits to them that make them shine in some way or another, and of course allows them to be very strong break-centric characters. So I'd love to know as well if you guys think that certain break DPSs should be in tier 0 or at 0.5 when it comes to Firefly, Boothill, and Rappa. And I would also love to know your reasoning as to why, like what part of their kit makes you believe they should potentially be in tier 0 in comparison to maybe being in 0.5. But yeah, I think Boothill and Rappa definitely should eventually go up. Now, when it comes to the rest of the list, there are 2 characters I also think should go up. And looking at the list, not many characters have moved much. That could potentially be different though in Pure Fiction and Apocalyptic Shadow. But I would say that I thought that Fugue would honestly make more of an impact on the tier list. For example, I think Himeko absolutely needs to go up. She has been performing very well in Memory of Chaos. I have done multiple showcases as well of her in the most recent Memory of Chaos floors. Especially now with Fugue, I would say that Super Break Himeko just got even stronger now. You're going to be able to unleash more follow-up attacks now just because of the extra toughness meter that Fugue will inflict onto enemies. So I think Himeko absolutely should go up by now. And I would also say the same to Xueyi. I see that she's in the niche character category. I think that with the release of Fugue, Xueyi should also go up, as Xueyi can nicely take advantage of Fugue's kit. And similar to Himeko, I would say that Fugue allowed Super Break Xueyi to be even stronger now, just because she can nicely take advantage of the extra toughness for her karma stacks. So I would say Xueyi and Himeko definitely should go up. I did share a lot of my opinions last time when it comes to the list. I do think Sunday more than likely will go up to tier 0 next patch. We will be getting our first Remembrance character. So because of that, he's going to be able to synergize very nicely with them just because of what he enables for characters that do have a summon within their kit. And it was confirmed that all Remembrance characters will have a Memo Sprite, which is a summon. So I think Sunday might honestly go to tier 0 next patch. And for the rest of the tier list, I think some of these placements could definitely be moved around, maybe a tier or 2. But overall, I would say that I do think Fugue made a bit more of an impact than the list is portraying, at least when it comes to Memory of Chaos, in my personal opinion. And I do think actually, now this doesn't have to relate to Fugue, but I do think that Zila is a little too low. I have seen some of the comments on the last video, and Zila can definitely take advantage, of course, of Sunday's kit as well. But I do feel like depending on the team comp, Zila can definitely at least be in this category right here, I would say. I have seen some justify for her to go a bit higher. Some think maybe she should be where she is. I do think she could be a bit higher though, since I still have seen some pretty decent clears when it comes to just Zila in general. As for Argenti, I have seen some advocate for him going a bit higher rather than tier 3. And as for Jade, I feel like Jade could potentially go up. Of course, with more Erudition characters we get, depending on how they impact Memory of Chaos, Jade could end up going up as well. I have seen some pretty nice showcases with Jade in particular though in Memory of Chaos when it comes to using her actually alongside Lingsha. Jade and Lingsha actually work very nicely together in the most recent Memory of Chaos and can also get a very low clear of a 0 cycle to 1 cycle. So I think Jade actually needs to be looked at a little more when it comes to Memory of Chaos, just because there has been showcases put out that can prove Jade's capabilities alongside another character that can heavily synergize with her kit or just take advantage of her kit. And of course, Jade will also provide her benefits to that character as well. So I do think Jade needs to be looked at just a bit more. She could potentially end up going up in the future. We have to also see just what Herta ends up doing, and I'm referring to the Herta coming out in 3.0. This could honestly make Jade potentially go up, so we'll just have to wait and see for that in particular. But yeah, I think Jade to get looked at just a little bit more when it comes to her Memory of Chaos potential. And real quick, before we actually wrap it up for today, let's look at the changelog real quick. I just want to see who they're keeping their eye on. So okay, they are keeping their eye on Himeko. Oh, my bad. Himeko, Rappa, Boothill, and of course, Harmony Trailblazer. Okay, so I think that's good that they're keeping their eye out on those characters. I do think they should add Xueyi to that list just because of what she does with Fugue in particular. And also, once again, for Memory of Chaos, maybe also check out Jade as well, just because there has been some really nice clears with Jade in particular. Those that also have pulled Fugue or have been able to test her out, I would love to know your opinions on just her impact when it comes to team comps, what she can enable for teams in general, and if you think her placement is good, if she should be higher, lower, whatever it may be. And I hope you all did enjoy this video where I guess, shared my opinions on what I personally think. And I cannot wait for honestly 3.0 just to see what they do with those characters fully. And I'm super excited, of course, as well for the live stream tomorrow. I'm actually kind of curious as well if there's any reruns you all are excited for or potentially want to come very soon. Because tomorrow we will also find out what reruns are coming. So that's pretty exciting as well for those that are waiting for reruns. And we also get to learn more, of course, about the new characters, so that'll also be pretty exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like, support the video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.